Alrighty, let me show you right now what I am making. That's going to be my lunch for today and probably tomorrow, and maybe going into Sunday. This is just very simple, straightforward. Just beans, onions, some beef sausages that I just cut up, jalapenos, garlic salt seasoning, pepper, and bay leaves, and what else? I forgot. That's mostly it. But yeah, that's a meal that I'm making right now and letting it go and do its thing. And let me get this camera here set up so that way I can get today's episode recorded. Hi, Arlo. Hi, buddy. How are you? All right, let's get this set up right here. That's my little power gym area rack. Watch out, Arlo. Excuse me, buddy. Oh, watch out, watch out, watch out. Okay, let's see. Let's test that out. Let's see how that's looking. Oh, maybe. Hi, Papash. Hi, buddy. Hi, mister. Maybe this camera's too low. Let's put it up just a little bit. Hello, mister. All right. Well, good morning. This morning, Arlo and we went to the park around 7:30, and it was lovely. It was like 68 degrees outside, something like that. Hi, thank you. And it was cloudy, so it was like perfect because I thought it was going to be really sunny like it's been the last few days. Excuse you, sir. But it wasn't. So we went there, did our 3 miles, and the weather, yeah, it was cloudy. It was great. It was wonderful. And we finished perfect time right as the clouds went away and the sunshine started coming. So, so that worked out just fine. Ew, Arlo. This right here is a sock that I sacrificed to Arlo. So I always do that. I always sacrifice clothing that I no longer need, and I just give it to him because that's a good cause for it. Yo, excuse you, sir. Excuse you. And he loves playing tugs, and I love playing tugs with him. Ew. So, yeah. Today I didn't really spend too much time thinking of like a thing that I wanted to talk about as far as like some kind of special topic or whatnot. But what was pressing on my mind a lot was just imagine yourself having achieved what you want in life, and start with something small, something believable, something easy. Like, for example, when I started this journey of just figuring out how to change my life and how to commit to long lasting discipline and changes, it started with me really envisioning myself incorporating the kind of active lifestyle that I know I need and that I wanted to have in life, because I have not been all that active for most part of my life, and it's only been until recently that I've started to be able to exercise a lot more, eat better, sleep better, to really start seeing the changes. And it's funny because now at least 3 miles is the normal that we do every single day. I remember one time a few years ago, I just told myself, and of course I didn't commit to it at the time, but I remember telling myself, if I could do 1 mile a day, I think that would be good. I maybe only did that like 1 or 2 days, and then I just stopped and then just let distractions and excuses dominate, which has been the story of my life for most of the part. But not anymore. I knew that I wanted to get exercise done, and honestly, using the Apple Watch that I've had since 2018 works just fine. And I don't need it to do anything fancy. I don't take calls on it. I don't whatever. All I need this watch for is to just be able to use something to track my exercise. Now, it may not be the most accurate fitness tracker out there. I'm sure there are other ones which are much more highly recommended to use for tracking fitness. I'll find them at some point, But for now, with what I'm doing, this is working just fine. And I remember let's just try to get at least 30 minutes done every day. Let's just start with that. And I did, little by little. And I tracked it why every time I went out in the morning to walk around the apartments here, I would track it. I would put on the tracking the your outdoor walking, and it's not much exercise, but it's something. And it averages out to Arlo and I doing the little lap around the apartments, which is half a mile, to about 15 minutes at the pace that we go. Sometimes a little bit more, sometimes a little bit quicker, but it's around 15 minutes on average, I'd say. And it started with that, but I knew that okay, that's good, but we could probably do more. And I was talking about this last night with a buddy of mine because last night at the dog park it was great. We were there until like 9:30 almost, and the dogs were all there playing together, getting along, and we got to let them run around in one of the baseball fields, and they had a great time. Good socializing, and good for us also who were all there. And I was talking to one of my friends. We were just kind of doing laps together. He joined me, and I was telling him how it wasn't until I'd say February that I really started hitting the stride of committing to doing at least 3 laps, which is just about 1.8 miles at the park. And then I knew that I wanted to build it up, and because I had also committed to doing that 5K marathon, which here's the evidence again. I'm going to be so proud of the next one that I do. And because I also had this in mind, I knew that, okay, if I can be doing 3 miles every day at least, then I'm doing already 5 kilometers every day. And I built up to that point little by little. And I built it up in a way that was lasting and effective. And it's really helped me to be able to feel good, feel confident, and feel accomplished every time I do it. And now that summertime is here, we've adjusted our exercising a little bit. Like yesterday and the day before, um, we didn't go to the park in the morning because of just how bright and sunny and warm it was already getting. And I know Arlo that even if it's like in the 70s outside, but if it's still really sunny, he gets a lot of that sun exposure and it just exhausts him even more. And I don't want to push him too hard. Like if I know that he's like already like lagging behind and like like getting exhausted, then I'll know like all right, we'll call it here. We'll wrap it up. And yeah, it's fine. Then we just get back to the apartment, and then he just drinks water and just keels over like he is right now, laying down on the ground. And so it's good. Um, but on mornings like this morning, where it's cloudy outside and a little bit of a breeze, it was great. It was perfect. And we went there, did our 3 miles, and it felt great. And in the evening also, because the other people in the dog group, they also like to walk as well. We kind of peer pressured each other into at least getting some walking done, and it feels great. And it's really good for the dogs also, because if they have a lot of energy, then having them just commit to walking and being in that rhythm when we're all doing it together, that's also a good way for the dogs to just kind of get some sniffing done, get some exercising done, and they mellow out. And then when we stopped at the baseball field afterwards and we let them run around off leash, it was great. They ran around, chased each other for a little bit, and by the end of it, they were just exhausted. They were all just like laying down and just ready to go to sleep. So it was beautiful. It was perfect. I look forward to more of those nights in the summer. And so, and yeah, and at the park also, like yesterday evening, we did our 3 miles there at the time. And even though I've talked about it before that I like exercising in the morning first thing because it feels like I've accomplished the hardest thing in the day, it's a mindset shift. It's like, okay, well, if I'm not going to be able to do that first thing in the morning, at least I'll be able to take him out on our short walk, and then I have the treadmill, which is just out of frame right here, that I could just run a mile on. And I want to be able to do more and more, little by little, on here, and that way I at least get some exercise done here. And when I'm on the treadmill, I can run most of it, and it feels great. I did that, on Wednesday morning? Yeah, I did it on Wednesday morning, and it felt great. I was so glad for it. So I'm probably gonna do it again. Maybe like tomorrow and Sunday, and I'm just trying to incorporate it more and more as well, because while the park is a great place for exercise for Arlo and I still want to be able to do more for myself. Which is why also you kind of saw in the frame already the power rack right here, which is where I have my bench that I'm sitting on, and I have some dumbbells behind me. The next thing is to get a long 7-foot barbell that I could use, and get some 45-pound plates so that I could do deadlift, bench press, and squats, and just really incorporate that more and more of being able to lift heavier, because I want to do that. I want to put on some more muscle, and I'm looking forward to it. Little by little, it's coming along. And yeah, also yesterday, confirmation came through. The lease, yeah, the paperwork came back, and yeah, we're good to go now for the next year ahead. And I'm just so excited to see what's gonna happen when, especially when a year from like now, to when I could sit down here and just see and just look back and just see all the videos that I've been posting, because I am committing to this every Friday, putting a video up. And even though right now it's just mostly sharing about how I'm doing, what I'm working on, I know where it's gonna go, and I look forward to being on that journey, and growing it, and continue going forward in this life-changing experience of mine. And I can't wait to, hopefully inspire others to ask themselves the same question, if they feel like they're in a relatable place that I was in, of this this state of, I'm not living the life that I know I'm meant to live, or that I want to live. Like, why have I settled for complacency? Why have I settled for mediocrity? Why have I settled? Why have I, become too comfortable? And then figuring out how to break out of that cycle, and to really focus on your goals, the things that you want to accomplish. And for some people, pray about it, bring God into it. You know, that is very important. And if you're not religious, if you're not Christian, I'm not. I don't have anything against you. I'm not judging you. It's, if you feel like the universe, reflects back what you give, because yeah, I think there is a lot of truth to manifestation and the law of attraction. And you know being able to implement a lot of those things into my life has really helped me to shift my mindset into looking at possibilities. And I talked a little bit before about just how to change your mind to look for possibilities. And truly, once you start changing your mind in the way that you think about yourself, it's true, your world does start to reflect that, and you start encountering things that reaffirm those beliefs that you have. Because if you're always complaining, if you're always stressing, and if you're always telling yourself that life is stressful, there's so much wrong, everything is, not going right, well, guess what? Everything's not going to go right. Everything's going to be stressful. That's going to be your life experience. Whereas if you tell yourself, you know, I'm beautiful, I'm healthy, I'm wealthy, etc., and you tell yourself that every day, and you believe it, and you feel it, and you envision it, and which is why like some of the manifestation practices and like meditation that I've come across really help a lot, because there's a lot of joy you could find in using your imagination to your advantage. And I know a lot of people out there do believe in that as well. And for everybody, it's our own unique experience. And for anybody that's out there also going through that same journey for themselves to envision a better life, a better tomorrow, and are grinding on it, and are working on it, and are seeing the potential, and are seeing the possibilities, then I'm so happy for you. And I genuinely hope to come across people like that more and more. And it's powerful to be able to have those kind of moments of connection, relatability because they've been on the same journey as you. They may be further ahead, they may be further behind. But when you come across people who are actively engaged in changing their life for the better and living the life that they believe they're meant for, and it aligns with their character, it aligns with their beliefs, it aligns with their faith, etc. That's powerful, and I'm thankful, I'm grateful, and I rarely let myself get upset. I rarely let myself get angered, especially in traffic. I've realized that, like when I'm driving to and from work, I remember sometimes, like, if I get cut off or if I just have to suddenly stop because there's traffic coming on, I remember I would just get frustrated and angry and like almost, and I would curse sometimes, like as I'm driving. But now it's like, for what? Why are you letting this anger build up inside of you? Your body doesn't need that emotion. It doesn't do any good. And it's like, okay, there's traffic. Okay, guess what? I don't care. I'm driving. I'm still going where I need to get to. I'm listening to music that I like, or an audiobook, or a podcast, a talk, or something, and it feels great. It feels fine, and I'm just so grateful that I I don't let that happen. And there's still times when I do feel pretty angered about certain things or little things like that, but I am much more aware of when I'm doing it. And when I catch myself in those moments, I just tell myself, "Hey, that was the old you. This is not who we are anymore." Just inhale, exhale, and go forward. You have your purpose, you have your life, you have your goals. Worry about that. Focus on that. Build habits that affirm that. And I've kind of mentioned it a little bit already about how I'm working on some books. And it's crazy because I remember when I finished all of the initial outlines for them, I remember telling myself, "Okay, great. This feels like a very big accomplishment for me. What next?" Well, I already knew what next, and I'm doing it now. It's okay. Now let's go through the outlines that I have of the books, clean them up as far as like formatting them, and starting to add in notes and comments of, okay, make sure that this is consistent with something that happened here. Is this relevant here or not? And once that's done, this revision of all the outlines, then I'm going to go through them all one more time. And if it's making sense, then yeah, then what I'm going to do then is print out all of the outlines for the books that I have and just have them hard copy in stacks. And then I'm going to use highlighters to go through and highlight, characters, locations, events, things like that, and use different color highlighters, um, just so that way I can get a little bit more of a feel of how this actually looks in my hand on paper, because that's the ultimate destination for it, is to be in books that are printed. And so I know once that's done, and also I'll be able to just quickly scribble down with my own hand, pen on paper, and just the way that I work is, I'll have like a big board or paper or something, and I'll kind of start, working on the timeline, a visualization of it all, so that I could kind of make sure that, okay, things are consistent, the passage of time throughout these books makes sense, and nothing is feeling too repetitive or out of place or irrelevant, and making sure that I'm adding in moments that are important and relevant, that could enhance and will enhance the narrative that I'm telling. And then once that's done, no, then I'm gonna go just straight into writing them all down, and I have the outline, so I know exactly how the chapters are going to be flowing. And I think that for me, going through a lot of the revisions right now in the outline is going to help me to just take care of a lot of editing now in the outline because these are very important and broad um, strokes of creativity in the story. And then once I actually get to the writing of it, is when I'll be able to start bringing it more life and character, and also making sure that each character has their own unique, voice in the story. And so I'm really excited for it, and I'll be keeping you updated as that progress comes along. But like I mentioned before, and I don't want to get too much into it because it's very important, very personal for me. And so, I'm just going to keep on grinding away at it, keep working at it, and making progress on it. And as I'm working on that personal project, I'm also able to work on my exercise, my health, my living space and everything. And so, yeah, even though it may not look like I am at where I want to be in life right now, I know exactly that I'm heading there. And I'm so grateful to wake up every morning and know that that's my destination. So I guess that's it. That's all I wanted to share today. So if you feel like you're also, you know, in the tunnel of darkness, but you see the light and you know that that's where you're going to end up, and you firmly believe it and you embrace it, then keep going. We'll get there. So thank you very much.